Hey everyone, it's Crystal here. Do you find yourself yelling all the time? And when you're in burnout mode, maybe this is the way you're responding and reacting to things. Or maybe even when you're not burnt out, this is the way you're responding and reacting anyway. And if this is your natural response to challenging situations or hard times or something that's causing you stress or things that may not be going your way, or maybe you've just lost your patience and you're at wit's end, and this is the way you're choosing to respond, then it can lead to some other consequences. If this is your constant pattern of response, you could look at facing some chronic stress because this is your typical response pattern. And when you start going down chronic stress, then you go into some chronic health issues. So it does tumble downward into some other challenging situations that come from reacting this way. And have you ever taken just a minute to evaluate what your body feels like after you've yelled or during when you do yell? I'm sure you feel some rushing sensations. Perhaps you feel your body tensing up or your muscles tightening. Maybe you feel this rushing feeling of anger and energy moving throughout your body. Maybe you just have this pressure in your head and it's not allowing you to think clearly or giving you a headache. Maybe you feel lots of knots in your body or just a lot of uncomfortable sensations throughout. And so when you're constantly having these sensations, it can cause you some serious problems because your body is in chronic stress mode. It's trying to tell you and signal that you're in danger, that there's something going on. And your mind and body don't know the difference between something that's really happening to you or what's happening in your mind and creating those signals. So you really do need to take some better care and notice what's happening with and within your mind. So when you notice that you're yelling all the time, how can you undo this? How can you change this habit of pattern, of this behavioral pattern? How can you change for the better and find some better coping tools, some better ways of responding? And this is deeply embedded in your subconscious mind. This is learned behavior. You have picked this up somewhere and have learned this and used this for probably years of your life, and it's embedded in you. It's something that's deep in your subconscious mind. And when it's there, it's something that comes up anytime you get triggered by something that stresses you or a challenging situation. That's the first response pattern that you know how to deal with these things. So, of course, that's why you're reacting in this mannerism, because this is what you know. And so when you are in those situations, that's how you're going to respond. That's the first thing that kicks in because that's what you know. So we really need to change this and rewrite our subconscious. It's like a computer, technically. We have all this saved data that we need to move to the recycling bin, delete it, and then reinstall new software or applications. And this is technically what we need to do in this type of scenario where you have this outward response as yelling. So this is a behavioral pattern that we have to change within us and find some better ways to respond to these situations. Perhaps rather than yelling, we can take an approach having a calm demeanor where we're able to have a debate or have difference of opinion, but not harbor negative resentment or lose our temper or lose ourselves in that situation. So that's one way of taking back control of ourselves, is finding a better way to respond when we're in these challenging situations. Maybe some other ways is to just walk away and get some air and take a minute to regroup yourself, regain yourself, and then come back to it with a more open and clear, calm mind. Maybe there's some other things that would be more beneficial to you when you're faced with these situations that cause you to yell. And so when you're at wit's end, when you've lost your patience, when you've had enough and just want to just throw in the towel, when you just find yourself or catch yourself needing to yell, stop yourself. Take a step back. evaluate what's going on and your response, if it's necessary or not. And most likely, there's a better way for you to respond. And when you start noticing that there's a better way, you can start introducing these habits into your life. You can start practicing them, doing them more consistently, and make them more familiar. And that will embed it into your subconscious mind. And of course, working with somebody to really undo those knots in your mind, to really let go and break those habitual patterns, is some way that you can really find some beneficial outcomes from that kind of therapy. So develop some better coping skills, redefine yourself, find who you really are and how you want to act in these types of scenarios. And you can regain control of yourself and regain who you are and reconnect and rediscover with some better qualities to move you forward in life in a way that completely matches who you are. So I hope you're able to get some value out of that today. I'll see you soon.